Hello everyone and welcome. So I know in my last video I talked about the first 3 things that you need to be doing to become financially stable, and one of the things that I said was that you need to open a bank account. So in this video I want to talk about after you open a bank account, what you should be doing. So once you've opened a bank account, you will be getting a debit card which allows you to use the money in your checkings account, spend whatever money you have in your bank account. Don't go over the limit, don't overdraft or anything. But once you have a debit card, a lot of people stop there. I have friends who, are just die-hard debit card people. They never want to have a credit card, and when I ask them why, it's because they're afraid of getting into credit card debt, which is a great fear to have actually. But I do want to talk about why I love credit cards. And the second type of person I've seen is they have a credit card, which is great, but they choose not to use it or not use it all the time and still choose to use their debit card, which is fine. But I do want to mention that the only time that I use my credit card personally is when I need to go to the bank and get money. So personally, I only use my debit card as a way to get access to the money in my checkings account for cash or whatever. But for spending, buying anything, I always use a credit card. So in this video, I wanted to share my top 3 reasons for why I love credit cards, and I think everybody should either have one, or if they already have one, use it to the full extent, with the caveat that they're using it responsibly, meaning they're paying it off every time and not racking up debt. So let's just get straight into it. So the first big reason that I love credit cards, and I think you should always use them whenever you're spending any kind of money, is because using a credit card can help you start building your credit score by doing nothing other than buying whatever you would have bought normally with your debit card, right? And so the credit score, the higher your credit score is, which what people will say is a good credit score, typically above 750, the better that number is, the easier it is going to be for you down the road when you need to get loans for, say, you want to buy a car, or you want to buy a house, or you want to do anything that you need to get a loan, or for any credit score thing. Getting a credit card and spending, just by spending money with your credit card and paying it back on time. This is very important. It's not enough to spend money with your credit card and then, rack up a whole bunch of credit card debt. No, I never want you to open up a credit card, spend money, and then go into debt. The point here is open up a credit card, spend money on whatever you usually do, and pay it back on time. So you're spending somebody else's money and you're paying it back. So you're not owing anything for that interest later, okay? But by doing so, instead of using your own money, paying with a debit card, by using somebody else's money with a credit card and showing that they can trust you, that you have the discipline and the money to actually return it on time, that shows creditors in the future that you are trustable, that you have that credit to your name, and they are going to be willing to give you lower interest rates to buy a house. For example, you might want to take out a mortgage. They see you have a good credit score. Instead of a 3% rate, they might give you a 2.8%, which, depending on how long your loan is, that could save you thousands of dollars in the long run. Okay, so that's number 1. By spending with a credit card, you can raise your credit score by literally doing nothing different from what you're doing right now. Just, go through life normally and buy things, which most of us do. The second reason that I love using credit cards to buy anything is for the cash back, which basically means you're getting paid or rewarded to spend money. And so depending on what kind of credit card or what bank you're with, the rewards are going to vary, but most, if not all, cards do have some kind of reward that come with them, and you can choose which category you want to use the percentage for. So for example, when you buy something with a debit card, when I swipe it, that's $100, right? Comes out of my checking account, that's it. I spent $100, right? However, if I spent that same $100 with my credit card, they typically have, and again, the rate is going to be different with the company that you're with, but for example, Bank of America, they do it in tiers of like 1%, 2%, or 3% cash back. If you spend it on the 3% cash back, for example, in that category, when I spend that $100, I'm going to get a 3% cash back, which means I spend $100, I'm going to get $3 back because of that cash back reward. So really, once I pay back that $100, I'm getting a $3 reward that, depending on the company, you could use for other things like gift cards, or you could use that money to directly pay back whatever debt you're in. So let's say I spend $100, get my 3% cash back. I directly apply that 3% cash back to the 100, so I really only need to pay back $97, right? And so credit card companies are basically paying you or rewarding you a little bit back for you just spending money normally. So with the debit card, you spend money, it's gone. With the credit card, you spend money, it's still gone, but you're getting kind of like a little rebate. It's coming back. And so different banks are different, but Bank of America, for example, will let you choose the tier, so you can choose if your 3% is online shopping or gas or eating out, and then you can put 1%, 2% on the other categories. And so credit cards have a cash back part, which is why I love them, because you're basically getting paid a little bit back to shop. And finally, my third main point of why I always and encourage everybody to use a credit card when purchasing anything is because of the safety and the fact that credit card companies will help you dispute charges. And so what I mean by this is, I'm sure you've seen on the news, be careful at gas stations. Hackers are everywhere. Hackers are everywhere. But in the gas station example, they might do something with the card scanner so that when you scan your card, they'll take your information away, right? And you don't want that to happen. Let's say that happens with your debit card, right? Or let's say you even lose your credit card. It doesn't even have to be a scammer. You lose it, somebody steals it, whatever the case, you don't have your card anymore. Somebody takes your debit card, goes and, buys groceries, beers, lottery tickets, whatever. They go and spend a whole bunch of your money before you can report it, lost and lock the card. What the bank is going to do is, sure, they're going to try hard and, try to get you your money back, but at the end of the day, it's not their money. It's your money, and so they can try hard, but there's really no guarantee that you're ever going to get that money back. So really, if your debit card is stolen, the money that is spent after, you may or may not ever see it again. There's just really no guarantee, and it can take months for the bank to, help you try to get it back. Versus, let's say you use a credit card. When you're using a credit card, you're not using your own money, right? You're using the creditor's money that you're going to pay back later. What does this mean? When you lose your credit card and somebody or steals it, whatever happens, and somebody starts buying a whole bunch of crazy stuff using that credit card, and you report it, lost, say the bank, hey, somebody spent my money and that wasn't me, the bank is going to go, oh my God, I need to get that money back, because you personally, you're gonna be like, I'm not gonna pay for that. I didn't buy that, right? So the bank is immediately going to give you that money back. It's really fast, right? And they are going to go catch that person, and they're gonna put a lot of effort into that because it's their money. They're gonna be putting their resources in, and they're going to be finding that person. But even before they do, they're already gonna put that money back in because you didn't spend it, right? So compare again, debit card, somebody spends it, that money is gone. It's your money, it's gone. They have no obligation to help you find it. Versus the credit card, you didn't spend it, you're like, oh my God, somebody stole it. That's their money, they're gonna want it back. So they're gonna credit it back to you, so you don't have to pay for anything that the scammer or thief bought, and they're gonna go chase after the person, and it's typically really fast. So you do have that extra protection in that if you ever lose your card or somebody steals something or whatever the case, the credit card companies you're going to have more protection going with a credit card company if anything bad happens, because they're going to want to get their money back, okay? But again, the most important thing about the credit cards and why I recommend everybody should get one, caveat, if you can control yourself and you don't spend money you don't have. Remember, you're borrowing money, and you can get into really bad debt if you don't pay it back. But if you pay it back, credit cards can be so wonderful. So make sure that you have the money that you're going to be spending with your credit card. So again, the benefits are, number one, you can increase your credit score by basically doing nothing different than what you would typically be doing with your debit card. Number two, you get cash back for money you would typically spend anyway. And number three, there's the added protection and safety of if anything bad happens, the credit card companies will help you get your money back, number one, and go after the person who ever stole it. Alright, so I hope this video gives you guys a little bit more clarity into why I love credit cards and encourage everybody to use them properly again. And hopefully this convinces you, number one, either to get a credit card if you don't already have one, or number two, to use your credit card more often if you do have one but just tend not to use it. Alright, so hopefully this video was helpful. Comment if I can clarify anything, or if you'd like to hear more on other topics. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a fantabulous day. Bye!